with Starling? He's got hairy legs.
Hey, cousin, I brought you a bird.
It's time to bird rock.
I would take a big bird, a small bird, a blackbird or a bluebird. Any type of bird will do. I'll take a sparrow or a goose. I would take a pigeon, a plover, over and over. I'd take a booby or regret. Stare at a woodcock with no regrets. I want to see a titmouse, a limpkin, nuthatch or a buzzjet, 'cause I love birds.
We're frothing at the mouth for birds.
Can't wait to hear about the birds.
This one's an invasive species, but that's okay.
With me.
I mean, it's kind of not okay, but I don't know. It's complicated. The starling, spoiler alert, today's episode is about the European starling. But Billy, how have you been? Have you seen any good birds lately?
Have I seen any good birds lately? Well, let me tell you, I've seen a lot of today's bird. I see today's bird all the time. The European starling.
You live in New York City. This is like... when I began my birding journey, part of my journey was realizing that 90% of the birds I was seeing in New York City were house sparrows and European starlings, which are both European birds.
Yeah. European starlings, they live in the huge trees on my block, in the holes, and they frequently will, like, you know, if there's a chicken wing or something on the street, you know, like the starling will kind of have a standoff with my dog. You know, like my dog will go sniff it, and the starling will only back off a little bit. Like it won't fully give up and fly away. It'll just kind of be like, you know, they're pretty bold birds, is what I'm trying to say. They're bold city birds that, yeah, as you said, they're invasive, but they're ready. They're here.
And if you want European starlings at your bird feeder, by the way, great tip is to put in chicken wings.
Chicken wings. I remember it was something weird like that. I was like, oh man, okay. I didn't know you guys like that.
Yeah, they pretty much eat everything, which we talk about in the song, which
we do.
I guess we should rewind for a second and mention that this is the Extremely Accurate Bird Songs podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, welcome.
Where we, me, Tommy, and Billy, Libby, we're on a mission to write a song about every single bird species. And we have an expert on every episode to decide if it's extremely accurate.
That's right.
This episode, we're very excited to have the brilliant Rosemary Moscow back on, whose new book, The Birding Dictionary, is taking the bird world by storm.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about Britpop. That's right. Get you Blur, Oasis, all of it coming at you.
Yeah, we got like a British invasion thing happening here, which we'll talk about why. The European starling is it is an invader from abroad. It is a complicated story. Mm-hmm. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that we are interested in any bird event. If you want to book a band for a bird event,
that's right.
We're your guys.
We're ready for the live show. I mean, let's talk about this. I imagine it's a little bit of an acoustic set. And I also have a vision of us having like bird costumes where we sort of, some songs are performed live, some songs maybe have like a dance routine and costume. It's going to be...
Well, we're working it out.
Yeah, we're working it out. But you will not regret bringing us to your event.
Depends on the event, but yeah, if it's a bird-related event, hard to imagine you'd regret
Absolutely.
it. We might be the only touring act that can serve your needs, actually.
Exactly. That's right. For your bird mitzvah,
yeah,
we'll be there.
Okay. Is that when a bird turns 13, or because that's an old ass bird?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's a big deal. That's why they don't happen that often.
When a bird becomes a man.
What else would be a bird event that we could play? Bird festivals, I mean, which we recently learned about. Very exciting.
The only thing that comes to mind is a quail seniora, but that's not.
Ooh, that's pretty
not.
good.
It's not. Don't give me that. You're too nice.
Well, you know.
We need more tension in this friendship. Too much yes and. We need more no but.
This bird fucking sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
The starling is very complicated because it is inarguably a very cool bird.
Yeah.
It can do freaky stuff. It has superpowers that even we as humans don't understand. For a songbird, it's kind of miraculous. And that miraculous adaptability and wit has also led to it just dominating a continent that it really shouldn't be on. But, again, this is our fault. I mean, so the European starling, we brought them to North America in the 19th century just because we liked them, essentially. Yeah. So we can't really complain.
I'm realizing that would have been me. Luckily I'm educated enough to know not to do that, but that definitely in a pre-PSA world, I'd be like, oh, this is a great idea. Here, cousin, I brought you a bird.
I could see you introducing a new snake to Prospect Park or something just because you like it. But yeah, I mean, we brought them to North America in the 19th century. They're now among the continent's most numerous songbirds. They know that there's over 200 million starlings, which is insane.
Wow.
If you're not aware of the starling, because this is, we're trying to make a podcast for birders and birders to be. So if you haven't really thought about a starling, Google it and you'll go, oh yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. They are stocky black birds. They've got short tails, triangular wings, and long pointed bills. Mm-hmm. And they're resented for their aggressiveness and their abundance, but these are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful birds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The fact that it's here, it's complicated, I read, in certain situations, because the fact that they show up and eat all the insects is great, but in other situations, they will eat all the berries and, be harmful for a farmer or something like that. So,
Yeah, it's complicated because they're killing it, and when you're killing it, sometimes other people are suffering as a result, and that is certainly true of the European starling. Now, they've kind of been the fall guy because a lot of what people attribute to starlings is really just humans driving out native species, and starlings just happen to be really well adapted to making do with whatever food or nesting sites are around.
Oh, yeah, just taking up the space that we made from driving out the other species.
Yeah, exactly, right? They're just they're taking advantage of the urban world that we have created. But again, kind of a beautiful bird. And apparently if you're a bird, they're even more beautiful. You were telling me about they have UV vision.
Yeah, well, you did mention it before, but this is a great time to look up that bird. Look up that bird. Look up that bird.
You're frothing at the mouth already looking up this bird.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, look at that bird. So starlings have different appearances different times of the year. So they turn from kind of dark and spotted, and then they get glossy and then dark again, but they're not shedding without shedding their feathers. So the new feathers that they grow in the fall have these bold white tips, but by the springtime the tips have worn away and the rest of the feathers is dark iridescent color. So it's this unusual changing act that they do without shedding during that period that's called weremoult. You got to look up the UV version of the starling, which people have tried to kind of mock up. Obviously, you can't really show what something looks like in a color spectrum that we can't see. But they, they've done mock-ups of what it might look like if you had UV vision, and this is a beautiful bird. Actually, this is appropriate for this British invasion bird, but I made a new audio drop.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful bird.
Yes.
I stared at the mic a really long time doing that over and over again, so I just to try and do a John Lennon impression.
Can I get it one more time? It's too short. Give it to me one more time.
One more time?
Beautiful, 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 beautiful bird.
Okay, two things. You sound fantastic as John Lennon there. That I still think that's John Lennon saying bird. Second thing, never realized someone was going ham on the steel drum in that song.
Oh,
Until
yeah.
this version.
The steel drum is sick on that song. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Just somebody leaning back, just going, now that's one beautiful boy.
I've been thinking about writing a song with steel drum.
About my boy and how beautiful he is.
He's so beautiful.
And by the way, you're not going to hear any AI music on this podcast. Maybe you're thinking in your head, oh, they do that with AI. No.
No.
We're committed to the no AI lifestyle. This is a no AI podcast. AI is not a safe space for AI lovers.
Absolutely. If you love AI, get the hell out of here. You know what? If somebody comes along and writes 11,145 bird songs in one day using AI, I'm not going to give a shit.
Nah. Disqualified.
Yeah, I'm going to die on my hill, 95 years old, writing my 596th bird song, but I'm never going to use AI.
Yep.
Ever.
Amen, brother. We haven't talked about them being a really good mimic, because that's something that I don't think you would realize seeing them in kind of an urban environment. It's not like you hear them mimicking stuff all the time.
Absolutely, no.
Like they're noisy.
Same with the murmurations. Like the murmurations and this behavior, the mimicking, are two things that I'm like, what? We're kind of spared from that in everyday life, how creepy that is. But do you have that recording? Can you play it?
Yeah, so they can do all sorts of crazy mimicking. Let me pull up some of these examples here. Yeah, check this out. They can like perfectly mimic the human voice in a way that's kind of unsettling.
It's Starling. European Starling. European Starling.
Isn't that creepy?
That is creepy. Dang.
Yeah, check this one out. This one, I can't imagine how long they had to train this one. How many crackers they had to give this one. This is a European Starling.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Sorry, that
is
one's not real.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds just like Bill.
I do have another one that's crazy. That's like literally an impression of its owner and an impression of Alexa.
Alexa, play violin music. Here's a station. Music. Alexa, play violin music. Here's a station. Music. Here's a station. Music.
I mean,
Wow.
what do you even do with that?
Yeah, that's creepy. What kind of music is the bird saying?
Violin, I think, is what the bird is saying.
Damn.
Yeah, it could enunciate a little better. Let's shots fired. I have one more clip of a Starling talking.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that.
Amazing. It's just got hairy legs. Imagine having a pet bird that's. Sorry. Okay, two of those are real, two of those are not.
I miss you, Joe Biden.
Oh man. Yeah.
Joey B.
I've been working on it too late, but like post his presidency, I've been working on impressing of Joe Biden.
That's pretty
Trying to get better than Joe Biden, folks.
That's pretty good. Damn.
Thanks.
Man,
I can go 7 minutes. Listen, we as Americans, we have to go birding. Birding. This is serious, folks. It's part of what makes us Americans. Birding.
Oh man! Wow.
I gotta workshop it a little bit, but
Hopefully, I mean, you're crushing it.
maybe we could have Joe Biden on the pod and interview him about birding sometime.
I hope he just slides real deep into birding. You know, just let all that just wash right over him and just slip right into birding.
But they are insanely good mimics, so they can like learn the calls of like apparently they know like 20 different species, which honestly, based on the fact they can do an impression of humans, I'm surprised they can't do even more than that.
Yeah, right.
But they can apparently perfectly copy like the eastern wood pewee, killdeer, meadowlarks, northern bobwhite, wood thrush, red-tailed hawk, northern flicker, and this is like, you know, this is not some long evolved thing. Like they've only been here for like 150 years. Pretty cool.
Wow. Holy crap. Oh, speaking of holy crap, one of these I'm pretty sure crapped on me.
Oh.
And that's lucky. That was
Damn,
a big
dude.
deal. It was either a Starling or a Finch, but I think it had essence of Starling, you know? Like, you rascal.
I mean, in Brooklyn, I would say your odds are very high that it was a Starling. That was a weird part of my birding journey, was like walking around North Williamsburg and being like, oh, what's that bird? And then every single bird being like, oh, it's a starling. Because they would look different.
Yeah.
You know, as we've talked about, starlings can have like kind of different appearances, so you can convince yourself you're looking at different birds. But
Well, and also we didn't even mention that the babies, or the youngins basically up to adolescence, are kind of brownish, right?
yeah.
Which is,
and
there you go. Throw another thing in the mix. Jeez.
also they're huge. A lot of juvenile birds have this funny period where they can't feed themselves, but they're as big as their parents, and actually sometimes look even bigger because they're kind of fluffier. So I thought that there was, early in my birding journey, I was in Greenpoint. I remember like watching what I thought was a different species of bird bullying a starling with its mouth open, just like screaming and running after it. And then I realized that was a mother starling being menaced by its own child for food, just with its mouth open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Pretty scary. Yeah, they're really good at colonizing new areas because they can find nesting sites and take over other nesting cavities that other species have been in.
Oh, yeah. The ones that live in a tree near me, it's, just one of those little holes, and I just see it popping in and out. It's cool.
Yeah, which is like sometimes they are displacing species, but other times it's not like there's anything else that would be living in that hole in the bricks in Brooklyn, that would be thriving. But yeah, they take over woodpecker cavities, I think sometimes, nesting boxes for other birds, holes in houses, traffic lights.
Should we debunk some bird myths?
We should, and this is like a deeply ingrained bird myth, to the point where like I bet if you asked, ChatGPT, it would give you this as fact because it's just listed as fact in so many places, only recently debunked by the New York Times, but great story. So the story goes, this guy, Eugene Shefflin, who was like a pharmacist in New York City and was like a driving force behind the American Acclimatization Society, which was founded to introduce European flora and fauna to North America. But this guy, Eugene Shefflin, supposedly went a little further and was said to be a Shakespeare admirer, and decided that the group should introduce to North America every bird that is mentioned in Shakespeare, which Shakespeare only mentions once, the starling, in Henry IV. There's the line, "Nay, I'll have a starling shall be taught to speak nothing but Mortimer, and give to him to keep his anger still in motion."
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
No. Are you a Shakespeare guy? Be honest.
I'm more of a Shakespeare and then sprays it all over myself.
Whoa.
That's the stupidest joke.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did you just think of that? Is that like
I
an
did.
old
No, I just thought of that.
Shakespeare? That's good, dude.
But no, I appreciate him, but I've never been someone to like just read Shakespeare for fun. I have not read Shakespeare outside of high school, I'd say. What about you?
Yeah.
Are you just reading that, cranking that every night?
Oh, you know it, brother. Back to the bard, though. So this guy, Eugene Shefflin.
I'm going to show the world Eugene's important.
So the story goes he imported 60 starlings to New York and introduced them into Central Park, I think, is how the story goes, and that they bred like crazy and took over the entire continent. The twist is that the New York Times did a deep dive into this more recently, and they found little evidence that this story is true, and in fact found evidence of colonies of starlings that had already been flourishing in Boston almost 30 years prior. So, it's possible there's some grain of truth here that some a Shakespeare fan of some kind like brought them over and unleashed them in Central Park, but that's not necessarily where the North American dominant populations came from. So, womp womp, cool story, but...
Yeah, but again, though, I'd almost say reminiscent to the robin, where, maybe it's not as cut and dry as we thought, but I still think there's some truth in it. Like, I'm still going to look at my Brooklyn starlings and think that, you could have come from that batch of 60, Shakespearean 60. It's
very possible. We just don't know. And poor Eugene, because he's not around to defend himself. He left no materials about this. It seems to have been made up like like decades later in a book.
Yeah.
So, but I think we were just looking for somebody to blame, and Eugene was like the fall guy, because they're kind of widely considered a pest, which is funny because in Europe they're like prized as like a very special bird. But yeah, they cause lots of livestock and agricultural damage every year. The estimate is like almost $1 billion worth of damage every year. And they can take over the nesting cavities of native birds, and they've even caused like one of the most deadly plane crashes in U.S. history was in Boston, and a large flock of starlings got sucked into the engine, and 62 people died. So I almost think the Eugene story is just popular because we wanted to blame anybody other than, the pilots and the co-pilot, which, as we know from the rehearsal.
Yeah, they were probably just feeling weird.
Talking about the song a little bit. This song is cool because a lot of these are kind of like just funny. This one just sort of sounds like a nice song. This one sounds like a rock song.
Yeah, this could just be a song. As we mentioned, we kind of went in like a Britpop thing, the British invasion. But Tommy, I feel like you brought a really awesome Blur element to it, and also Belle and Sebastian, which is a band I used to love. Like it kind of had it really like. I know they're not. Are they a British band? I don't know.
They sound British. I'm gonna guess Scottish. Friggin' nailed it.
Nice, my man.
Hell yeah.
Well, my band guessing man.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one. And Jesse Kristen, Jukebox Ghost, shout out Jesse. He friggin' killed this one. I feel like his reinterpretation of... I had a totally different drum part in mind that I'd programmed at MIDI, and he like just pitched what his brain would do, and I was like, yeah, that's like 50 times cooler.
I know the chorus kind of has like a Zombies vibe a little bit.
Oh, man, we're just trying to add more flavors to the album.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to be the Mr. Bungle of birds.
Who was your favorite like Britpop band? Were you Team Oasis, Team Blur, or did you care?
I'm embarrassed to say this, but I think the Britpop thing kind of like passed me by. Yeah, so I had a couple of Oasis albums and I liked them, but it wasn't until later that I dug into like Pulp and Blur and Oasis songs other than the ones on their two top-selling albums.
Yeah.
But Coolest Shaker I got into from a friend. They're pretty cool.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, and I mean Super for Animals and Supergrass. Yeah. How about you?
Well, Oasis was huge for me. Nirvana and Oasis were probably my first, like right when I was learning how to play guitar.
I don't know why I asked that question as if I didn't already know this.
Yeah.
But...
That was a big one for me. Although, as I gotten older, I really got to appreciate... I think Damon Albarn of Blur is the winner of the feud, the Oasis-Blur feud. Yeah. Just with his longevity with Gorillaz and everything.
I do think there's something, I don't know, through modern ears, it's weird to me that they're pitched against each other because they're pretty different. It's kind of like being like, Third Eye Blind is so much better than Beck. You'd be like,
yeah.
That's not really a relevant comparison, but that's kind of because they were like the two big British bands. I guess they had to do.
Yeah. It was almost like just like a high school feud. Like, you're the same age and both popular. It must be a feud.
Yeah.
But they also were feuding. I think they just insulted each other constantly in tabloids, which is where it came from.
Yeah. I mean, Oasis like shines so bright. It's kind of overpowering. You know what I mean? Those first few records, you're just like.
Yeah, that was such a moment.
They just bowl you over. But very different bands. And Blur is just like consistently great through their whole discography. Very self-aware, cheeky, fun songwriting. And then Damon Albarn is like, I mean, God, to then also have the success of Gorillaz is absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. That's GOAT stuff.
But did I tell you I was obsessed with Oasis? Like I would like fake a British accent. I would buy the UK singles so I could get like the 2 B-sides that weren't released on the records. Yeah, I was kooky crazy. I loved it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, we didn't do Cloaking Me Crazy yet.
Oh, shit.
So before we go, let's get in Cloaking Me Crazy. Cloaking Me Crazy.
Cloaking me crazy.
Cloaking Me Crazy.
We're talking mating rituals.
So one thing I know about these is when they are mating, they mate multiple times a day, which is like
they get nasty.
Staycation. Let's get freaky. And they do a little tail dance. I saw a little tail dance, and they sing. The males sing a little song, and they follow the ladies around throughout the day, singing their song, rubbing their beaks.
Sounds annoying, but
Yeah.
that's cool. They both incubate the eggs, which is, look, we love a stay-at-home dad, so we got another one here.
Yeah.
And it's not just the morning dove ladies.
Yeah. Although I'd say I don't think they do it as much as the ladies. Like, this feels a little more kind of your typical, like, 80s dad.
Yeah.
You know, just shows up, expects dinner to be made, and, like, thinks he's God's gift to the family unit. Give me a fucking break. But yeah, Starling is just, now that we're wrapping this up, Starling is just kind of an interesting bird.
The murmurations are crazy.
Yeah, the gorgeous murmurations. That's another thing. Look that up, because that's really cool. I was lucky enough to see that once, and it was really magical.
It is insane and a bit psychedelic. And we get into that in the song, Steppy Time.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have Rosemary back.
Yeah.
Rosemary Moscow.
Ugh. She's just, I mean, for those who don't know Rosemary's work, just like brilliant cartoonist, brilliant author, easily on the Mount Rushmore of bird content greats. Please follow Rosemary Moscow on all the social medias. And we're so excited to have her back on.
Heck yeah.
Okay, we're back and so excited to have Rosemary Moscow on the pod. Science writer, artist, creator of the award-winning science webcomic Bird and Moon. If you're a fan of birds, someone has probably sent you a half a dozen at least of Rosemary's comics online. They're so wonderful. Rosemary has written and drawn for Audubon Society and Ranger Rick, Cornell Lab, among others. You have seen Rosemary's work, and it is amazing. I recently got a copy of the Birding Dictionary, which is Rosemary's new book. And it's like just a fun, tongue-in-cheek guide to birds and birding. And it's such an amazing way to ingest, new bird information for new birders or experienced birders. And you should buy 20 copies. And we are so pleased to have on the pod Rosemary. Welcome, Rosemary.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, 20 copies is key because once you buy 20 copies, the experience just changes. And so. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
There's a term that I actually heard. You're gonna have to correct me, but is it bubble butt or warble?
Wait, are you talking about
Butter butt?
Are you talking about butter butt?
I've also heard the term bubble butt, but
I think that's not a birding term. Butter butt.
Bubble butt's a Canada goose.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, Tommy, I feel like you're the expert on that. One.
I do. There are a lot of bubble butts out there.
Oh
butter butt.
Butterbutt, yeah. So butterbutt is a yellow-rumped warbler, which is in some places like one of the commonest warbler species you'll see. And yellow-rumped warbler just doesn't roll off the tongue, so birders say butterbutt, which I think is really funny because when you first hear it, you're like, oh, that's funny. Who would ever say that? And then once you go down the birding rabbit hole, you're just saying it, but with a complete straight face. Like, oh, I've got 6 butterbutts over there. Like, you just... and you don't realize how far you've gone when you're just calling them butterbutts. Yeah. Although it's funny because they have yellow armpits as well. Mm-hmm. So like butter pits would also work.
Well, I'm working on like I want to make like a Justin Timberlake kind of Timbaland sort of early 2000s dance jam for the yellow rumped warbler, and I have like a sort of rough skeleton of this idea where it's like, I got yellow under my chin. I got yellow under my wing. You see me shaking that thing. Let me get a look at that butt. You know? So be on the lookout.
Yeah, I don't need any other music now. I'm just going to listen to y'all like that. I'm all set now. Just do every genre and I'm all set.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun.
Oh, God. And by the way, for anyone out there listening who doesn't yet have a copy of the Birding Dictionary, yes, butterbutt is in the Birding Dictionary. So that's how I actually was testing this conversation to be like, is it in there? And because I thought I remembered it in there, and you bet it was. So comprehensive.
Hey, Tommy, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is your nemesis bird? Ooh, something out of the dictionary.
Wait.
Oh, you don't know what that is? Rosemary, you want to tell him?
Yeah.
Wow, you got to refresh myself here.
No, this isn't a term that everybody knows. And I mean, to be totally honest, some of the terms I put in there were just terms I had a joke with.
I love it. I like it.
They were funny. Yeah, so a nemesis bird is a bird. I feel like the concept, at least, is familiar to everybody who's into birds, which is like a bird that you really want to see, but you can't. And it often is not necessarily the rarest bird in the world. It's just a bird where every time you go to look for it, it's not there. And it's like it's your nemesis. And you're in this fraught relationship, and then you try to see it, and then you wind up with a new nemesis bird.
Whoa, what's yours?
So for a while, mine was the king eider, which is like a truly wild-looking duck, like just bizarre-looking duck. And then I got it in the Cape Cod Canal in Massachusetts, like really, really good views. And I was like, this is amazing. And then my next one was the spruce grouse, which I've never seen. And they're not impossible to get in the Northeast. But the closest I've come was I drove like 5 hours to get to a location, got out of the car, and immediately a grouse right next to me took off into the woods and never came back, and there were no more. And I don't even know if it was a spruce grouse, but that's my nemesis. They know when I'm coming, and they're like, bye.
Heck yeah.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I do have a very distinct nemesis bird, which is the American woodcock. I've never seen one, and I feel like I should have by now.
Wow, that's a frustrating nemesis because it's not impossible to get, but it's also challenging. Yeah, that's a good nemesis bird.
Yeah, and I feel like they're like big enough and not like sprightly enough that it's like, yeah, if you see one, you're going to get a decent look at it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, except they're super good at hiding because I've definitely, I was trying to take pictures of one once because I like spooked it and then I saw where it landed and I was like, oh, I'll gently walk up to that part of the woods. And, and I like crept up to that part of the woods with my camera. And then, I waited there for like 20 minutes and then like 2 feet away on my right, it took off. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, this is true. This is actually a true nemesis bird for me because we even feature the woodcock in our podcast theme song and I still haven't seen one. So
heartbreaking.
Brutal.
Well, try to find someone who's doing a woodcock walk in the spring because then even though you will still not see them super well, you'll like hear them doing their weird flight display thing.
Beep.
And then they take off and they do a really weird song in the sky that is like a mechanical song. Their wings are making this weird whistling sound and it's so weird. It's like this squeak, this like weird mechanical squeak. It's pretty cool. So what I'm saying is you're missing out and you should be really sad.
American woodcock.
I think the woodcock walk has got, do the woodcock walk.
Oh.
If you want to see a woodcock, do the woodcock walk.
Okay.
A woodcock walk.
All right.
Two very different approaches.
I'm glad we're recording right now. This is because we're going to need these for later to reference.
Yeah.
Although what I was more thinking, in my mind, I wasn't even writing an original song, really. I was just thinking about American woodcock.
Oh, nice. Oh, I see.
Why do you get away?
Oh, I see. Oh, little Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
heck yeah.
We're talking about
It was an American bird.
We salute you. But today we're talking about not a distinctly un-American bird.
Mm-hmm.
So today's song is the European Starling. Rosemary, you're very sympathetic to our invasive urban bird friends. Do you have any relationship with the European Starling in particular?
Yeah, I mean it's complicated. Would be our status.
It is.
So I don't know that I'm always super sympathetic with the invasives. I talk a lot about pigeons, which strangely are not an invasive species in cities, which I think is really interesting. They're not. They don't displace or harm native birds. So there's non-natives and then there's invasives, which actively cause harm. And weirdly, pigeons are only found where people are. It's like we imported like a puppy dog that just hangs out with us. I know, it's so sad. But I'm interested in house sparrows. They are invasive, but they're sort of like this really interesting, complicated story. And I feel like starlings are interesting because they do have serious impacts that are important to consider. They also have sort of an interesting misunderstood story. And I will confess that I have rescued injured baby starlings that have fallen out of the nest. I just can't look at a single bird and be ruthless. But
oh, yeah. Wait.
I think that's a me problem.
Somebody telling you to do different? Somebody...
Eat it. Oh.
David Attenborough's like, kill it. Kill it.
Well, so people do manage the invasives in their backyards to varying degrees. Like house sparrows, people will dispatch their house sparrows. Yeah, and a lot of bird rescues will not take non-native birds. It's super, super complicated. Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, I do eat house sparrows every once in a while, but it's not for population control. It's for flavor.
Which is, what is their flavor?
It tastes like a bird. It tastes like bird. It's bird flavored.
Yeah. Ugh. I think the thing to remember with invasive species for me is you can separate in my mind the impacts that they cause, which I think sometimes are really misunderstood. Like for example, when I was reading into house sparrows, I found that a lot of people talk about their effects on nesting birds, which are complex. But what's not complex is they spread disease really well. And that's something we need to talk about, not to humans, but to other birds. So like, it's a complicated thing. There's the serious impacts, but then there's also just people will hate an invasive animal like on a personal basis. And I feel like we brought starlings over, we brought house sparrows over, we brought pigeons over. Like, these are mistakes that humans made. The starlings weren't like, what I'm going to do is go and like wreck their crap, like I'm gonna go to America. So I feel like it's complicated. Like you can separate the bird from the...
But when you learn about what they can do, I feel like sometimes with the starling, it feels like kind of an inevitability just because they're such an incredibly smart and adaptive bird that it's like, okay, if they hadn't come here 150 years ago, they would come here now. You know what I mean? Like, and figure it out just because they're...
I don't know. Oceans are challenging. I mean, that's like a tricky one. That's
well, I mean, with people, with the aid of a
with
boat.
people. Oh yeah.
Like it would have happened at some point.
Yeah, in someone's carry-on.
Yeah, and it's our fault, right?
So it's true. I know my sister lives in Florida. The other day, she was like, "There's a chameleon walking down the street." Like they have like non-native established chameleons. Like humans are just wild with what we bring around. Yeah. Someone was just like, "I'm going to dump a bunch of chameleons in Florida," and they're like thriving. What is happening?
Have you heard the European starling who can say European starling?
Okay, no, but I have heard them do really weird human speech, and they're creepily good at it.
Yeah, like check this out.
It's starling. European starling. European.
And this
so
one,
unsettling.
This one impersonates the person that they live with, and also Alexa. Check this out.
Alexa, play violin music. Here's a station. Music.
Okay, so
Chills.
our reign is over and the reign of the starlings has begun. Good Lord. Oh my goodness.
That's what I mean about the inevitability of the starling. You listen to that and you're like...
Well, they are amazing. I mean, they're so well adapted to spreading around. They eat everything. They can live anywhere. They're really, really amazing. They're like super generalists. Yeah, they are so good at spreading everywhere they want to be.
One thing I was going to say about them is I see them all the time, but I've never heard them do anything like that. They definitely do crazy stuff, but I'm almost kind of wish, because I feel like there's the potential for them to be doing crazy shit all the time. Like, and thank God they aren't really, because that'd be too scary. But also their murmurations, I've seen them do it once in Italy when I was like 20 years old, but I'm kind of disappointed that I don't see them doing them more here. Maybe it's because of the buildings, but I'm surprised that it doesn't happen. For the amount of time I see starlings, I don't see them do that much.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so they probably wouldn't do it in the city because everything's like, tight quarters.
Yeah.
Like, I read this wild study that said that the wing shape of the starlings that have been brought over to North America has changed over time to make them better at making quick turns to avoid vehicles. So like they're adapting to a new environment. Like in Europe, they're doing the murmurations more over fields, but I have seen them do it here. It just has to be the right conditions. It has to be like way out on like a farmer's field or something. You'll see them do it. And also slightly unsettling for sure.
It's so cool. I mean, it just gives you this feeling of, I don't know, it's the great mystery of nature, right? Like when you see it at that scale, because like we don't really know why they're doing it, but it's so beautiful and complicated and insane to think about that many species cooperating with each other at the same time and improvising.
Yeah, I mean, often I feel like a component of murmurations, because there are native species that do it too. It's like a predator. So I was watching some beautiful little shorebirds do like a murmuration recently, and I was like, oh, how lovely! Like they were swarming and moving, and then this Merlin falcon like comes out of nowhere and just nails one of them and carries it to a tree, and I was like, oh, like here I am, like what a beautiful phenomenon.
Dang.
And they're like, fly for your lives.
Wow.
Well,
Crazy.
Very smart bird. Have either of you guys heard the, we're talking about them being good at like human vocalization, which is insane. I mean, they're like maybe better than a parrot, some of the audio clips that I've heard. But have you heard when Terry Gross interviewed a starling on Fresh Air?
What?
Check this out.
This is Fresh Air. I am Terry Gross. What was it like for you to have an audience dominated by teenage girls?
European starling.
You've been kind of insecure about yourself, not necessarily of your music. So this is your song. It's from your new album. Do you want to just say a couple of words about writing it?
European Starling.
I really appreciate you coming on our show, and good luck with the rest of your tour.
You know, I remember that interview because I was surprised at how evasive the Starling was and how Terry Gross didn't like push him more. You know, because she can be really incisive.
Yeah, he's like Adam. Yeah, it's like Adam Driver.
Oh no! Incredible. I would buy that album too. Yeah, I think that the reason why you don't hear them mimicking in New York City, which is a real pity because it'd be really fun to hear, you know, to be like in the city and hear like 100 starlings like yelling European starling at you. I think the reason we don't is because those are starlings that have been raised by people.
Got it.
Because,
that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's interestingly, it is illegal to raise and keep any native bird, but it is not illegal to have a pet starling or pigeon or house sparrow. So people raise them, and then that bird, you know, adopts the noises of its family.
You're looking at a guy who's about to have 3 new birds. 6. I'm gonna get doubles.
I feel like Billy. Unfortunately, I don't think you'd be the first person in your building to have pet starlings. Is there like a guy like a couple floors down or something?
Yeah. We had the Possum King in our building. He worked for one of the animal rescue places in the city, and he in his apartment had like 26 possums.
No.
Yeah, and we got to go see him. It was the best. Now he lives upstate, and he's like the governor. He went from like mayor of Possum City to governor of Possum State, which is fucking great. We're so happy.
Well, you
got
to move on up. The career ladder is clearly there.
I had a dove nest, and the doves fell, and he saved the dove, and then that's when we found out he was the Possum King. God, it was wonderful. What a beautiful moment.
Okay, how does that happen? Like, you're like, hey, can you help me with this bird? And he's like, I got it. By the way, I have 26 possums in my apartment.
Yeah, pretty much. He knew how to get my attention.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, that's so cool.
But I'm realizing we got to play this track.
Oh yeah, we do have to play this track. So Rosemary, what if you had to guess like what kind of song the European starling, what genre the European starling might express itself in song through? What would you guess?
Okay, I have 2 guesses.
Okay.
One is like a fancy, like Baroque European style song to emphasize the European refinement and the like spangled nature of the feathers. Ooh. And then the other one would be like a German techno kind of thing, because with their weird robot sounds, like, you know, a robot sound that just samples like European starling would be like extremely good and extremely unsettling.
Wow. Totally. Okay, I think actually even beyond haranguing you to be a guest, an expert guest in this pod, we need to just hire you as a consultant before we start writing these things, because those are great ideas. So good. We went in a different direction.
Okay.
But I mean, actually kind of in the vein of thought of what
in the middle, I'd say almost even.
We went for more of a British invasion sort of a thing. So
genius.
Without further ado, European starling.
Central Park in 1898. We all started to frolic, then to fornicate. You yellow Brits are coming, but it's much too late. No, we're now in every state. We do a murmuration when we're on the go. We like to give you all a psychedelic show. Patterns that you only see while stoned at home. Hey, that's how a starlings roll. Get used to a starling. We are the starlings. I know it may seem alarming when you look way up high and see shapes in the sky. It's the freakiest thing that we just improvise. You might think that you're tripping or losing your mind. Well, hey, get a grip on it, darling. We're the starlings. We'll eat a pile of seeds from your outstretched hand, or even human vomit from a garbage can. We know how to survive when in a foreign land. It's true, we know just what to do. shapes in the sky. It's the freakiest thing that we touch to prevent. You might think that you're tripping or losing your mind. Well, hey, get a grip on it, darling. We're the Starlings.
That was incredible. That was such a good way to take it. That's a great direction.
Thank you.
Oh, emphasize the trippiness of it.
Yeah, Tommy, you crushed this one. Also, Tommy, and we had Jesse Kristen on. Robin and this one, too. But Jesse, during that build, I feel like, whoo, he's really cooking on that.
Oh yeah. So Jesse Kristen, drummer of Jukebox the Ghost. Yeah, he really gave so much new life and energy to this tune. Because we were feeling pretty good about it, but then, like, something about getting him on the kit. He knows how to tap into that Ringo, like the what would Ringo do?
Yeah, this is a Ringo song. This is
know?
like Ringo bringing the song to the Beatles and being like, "Hey," and they're like, "Man, okay."
I wrote a song about an octopus and a starling. I like writing songs about animals.
Oh, that was so good. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Well,
that took me seriously right back to like high school and listening to Oasis and like.
Oh man, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We have to talk about the accuracy, and I think the accuracy is decent enough.
Yeah, I think accurate, but does not capture the full breadth.
Like 4 feathers, 4 out of 5 feathers
For the whole song?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, I think 4, 4.5. I don't know. This is so hard to like.
No, that sounds great.
Because I'm constantly listening to bird things or enjoying media where the accuracy is just absolutely terrible. Because if you love birds, movies are ruined for you. TV is ruined for you. Like because they play inaccurate songs all the time. Birds, you'll hear birds where there aren't birds there. So like this content, it's fun to quibble over, but you're so close to being perfection.
7 for 7. Woo.
Yeah. The honk.
Sorry, I didn't even give an appropriate segue for that. I just wanted to play.
It felt celebratory.
I think there was a look in your eye where I was like, this thing is coming.
He's hovering over the space bar right now.
But no, it's true. God. I mean, what was the there was a new Predator movie that was really, really incredible that I loved so much.
Yeah.
What was it called?
I think it was called Prey.
Okay. The one where they had like indigenous actors and there was like a colonial commentary and it was like really, really incredible. It was so good. However, it starts with a red-tailed hawk. They shoot out of the sky and it's holding a fish, and it should have been an osprey. And there was just this moment where I was like, nobody cares and it doesn't matter. But also there's like a part of me that's like, why was it holding a fish? So like, yeah, stuff comes up a lot.
I'm only starting to hit that point in my birding life where I'm hearing incorrect birds in entertainment, and it really is. It's an intense way to start viewing life. I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be just absolutely terrible, just like always like nitpicking, but there'll be just a moment where you're just like, oh, you gotta move on.
I don't know about you. I feel like bird call identification was like the last frontier for me. Like I sort of was like fully kind of sight and occasionally like a call here or there, but like now I'm like lying in bed, at 5 a.m. and I hear red-whiskered bulbul. I just hear it in the yard.
Wait,
I didn't used to identify birds like
I
that.
want a red-whiskered bulbul in my yard. Dang.
Yeah, they're cool.
Oh, man. I was the same, but I also, like, because I'm a little older than the current generation of the youngin' birders that are growing up in the time of Merlin, it was hard to learn bird songs. Like, you basically had to send away for a CD, like buy a CD and then play that. Or, just spend so much time outside. Like what I used to do is when I hear a song I didn't know, I would try to track down the bird and watch it singing, which does not always work. And nowadays you've got Merlin and just also all kinds of websites, Cornell websites and stuff where you can play the sounds. So it's just so much easier to learn the sounds. And then this whole other world of being an annoying person opens up because you're walking down the street and you're like, I hear an American redstart and your friend's like, what are you talking about?
That technology is so interesting to me too. Like I'm never filled with much wonder for technology. Like if somebody shows me like an AI video of like Will Smith eating spaghetti, I'm just sort of like, whatever, man, I don't know. But like every time Merlin is able to correctly identify a bird call, I'm like, that is incredible technology. Yeah. Shazam for birds. It's so sick.
I know. So I feel like It's so tough because I feel like there's a lot about, especially being an artist these days, you probably have this experience where like AI is becoming this giant thorny mess. The other day, someone tagged me in, they had like fed one of my comics into AI and like changed it. And they were like, check out this cool thing I made. And I was like, oh no, like why?
Oh, we were messaging about this.
Yeah.
Cause,
it was bad. But like on the other hand, you can't be blanket anti-technology because there's some really incredible stuff happening, with Merlin and with eBird and all this stuff. So I feel like these tools exist and you have to use them in a smart way, and they can be used in a good way. When people are like, that person's walking in the woods and they're looking at their cell phone, like they could be eBirding, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, unlike AI, at least Shazam for birds, it's hard to imagine an outcome where that really like destroys the human race. Maybe we'd figure it out, but
wow, that sounds like a challenge. Huh.
Well, Rosemary, I mean, we can't describe how pumped we were that you were willing to be on the podcast to talk about these totally insane songs. And for anybody listening, I just want to emphasize again, the Birding Dictionary is so delightful. It is the perfect gift for yourself or for anybody in your life who loves birds, or you think, maybe just needs a little nudge to love birds. Aww. It's just like a laugh out loud, funny, delightful coffee table book. You will love it. And if you don't already follow Rosemary on socials, we're going to make sure we include it in the show notes. Rosemary, thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thank you so much.
This was so fun. I can't even express. I'm just so happy right now. This is just like the best diversion. It's the best idea, and the songs are like incredible genre parodies. Like I'm in heaven.
Thanks, Rosemary.
We'll keep you posted when Butterbutt's coming to life.
Yeah, I think I need that one.
Totally. You got dibs on it.
You like have friends over for a party and then like you just slip that in there and everyone's rocking out and then they're like, so good. I can't wait.
Awesome.
I got hairy legs. And by the way, hairy legs. I got hairy legs.
But I want to say one thing.
And by the way, I got hairy legs.
But I want to say one thing. One thing.
We have to go birding. I got hairy legs. We as Americans, we have to go birding.